kid. Yeah. But just his celebration when he does that little, when he's, up in the air, he's just great. He's so fun to watch.
Man,
Harrison,
it's a great.
Wait. Before we start, you need to explain that. No, because you need to explain that. People just turn that on like, what is he even talking about? Why don't you explain what that is? And good evening. Go ahead. Kid. Yeah. But just his celebration when he does that little, when he's, up in the air.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Peach State Power Hour. I'm Harrison Reno. Alongside me, Andy Stowe and Eddie from Acworth. Folks, NFL Combine has wrapped up. Already went by just like that, and we're straight into the NFL draft season, if you haven't already noticed. As for said clip of Eddie hitting a very gyrating-esque dance, that was him mimicking the Zachariah Branch Sioux celebration after the Tennessee game. I believe that was the episodes directly after the Tennessee game, which was a thriller, and I would give anything to go back to this fall and just to experience it again, because had a lot of great shows, had a lot of great football games, and we're at the beginning of March, and I already missed football. Been missing it since the day it left us. But with that being said, we have a lot to get through. We have an NFL Combine to digest. Georgia once again took over Indianapolis. 10 Bulldogs went to the biggest job interviews of their life. Yeah. But there were several of them that did not work out, so we didn't really get to see them other than the media appearances they made. So we'll start there. That was kind of the downside of the Combine this year, boys, because when you go back 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was, and you think of the Combine that really started it in terms of really kicked everything into gear with Georgia and started giving them their flowers on a national stage, was that 2022 Combine, where you had the likes of Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Jordan Davis, all those guys out there competing. Every single one of them worked out, if I remember correctly. I think Nakobe Dean might have been the only one that didn't from that class. Now you kind of go to this class, and your two top prospects in terms of where they rank, Kristen Miller and CJ Allen, were not available for on-field workouts that were made available for interviews and for the media. They will both work out at Pro Day. Among them, also in addition to that, Oscar Delp did not work out. Now, granted, that was due to a hairline fracture injury that was discovered through the NFL's rigorous medical testing, which may or may not make a player late for their media interviews. But that's not here to be discussed. Gentlemen, I guess on top of that, who are y'all most excited about seeing come Pro Day? Because I think the guys who didn't work out, maybe we'll take Oscar out of the situation. I'm not expecting anything just mind-boggling in terms of, I don't think we're going to come out of Pro Day thinking, oh, that guy's an alien.
CJ Allen is a guy that when he works out, because I think he can make himself a lot of money with whatever his 40 time is. If he can turn up a really good 40 time, I think that's going to set him to the next level. But I will say this, I looked up a post Combine mock draft, and this is Athlon Sports, according to them, the first Bulldog taken off the board is at 15th to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, CJ Allen. So who knows? Maybe he don't even need to do the Pro Day. But yeah, no, that's big for him. But yeah, so the second dog taken is number 17 to the Detroit Lions, Monroe Freeling, and he looks like he made himself some money this weekend or this week.
Well, Eddie, Harrison, you were. Go ahead, Harrison. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, continue on, because I'll save that for a minute.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, Harrison, you were there all week watching what I like to call the Underwear Olympics, because that's what this is. And I think part of me is a little cynical about this because, how often do guys run a 40-yard dash during a football game? These metrics that they come out with, they bench press 30 times on 225. Okay, let's go back and look at their body of work that they did all through college. That's what really matters. And we're sitting here talking about, well, CJ Allen didn't participate, right? Well, look at his body of work in college. The guy's a gamer. He's a baller. He's a leader, right? Now, I'm not saying this stuff doesn't matter, but I think watching some of this stuff and these guys go off the chart because their 40 time was 4.2 whatever, that's crazy to me. That doesn't make any sense. Now, Harrison, I want to ask you a question because you were there. Do you think that, I don't think hurts the right word to use, but do you think not participating in the combine versus participating in a pro day, does that hurt the value of the player, do you think, at all? Or not, or does it not matter? Like a CJ Allen, for example. Yeah, case by case. Okay, that's fair.
I think it's case by case, because I think when you get to a certain level as a prospect, there definitely is truth to the narrative of you can only hurt yourself. Like, for example, Caleb Downs, who I think we can all agree, top 5 player in this draft class on talent alone. Maybe you can make an argument the number 1 player in this draft class. But because of positional value, the value of the position he plays, there's very little, if anything, he can do in Indianapolis to guarantee himself a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
But if he stumbles and has 2 really bad attempts at a 40 time, he could surely work himself out of the top 5 completely.
If he ran a 4.8 40, he'd fall out. But according to this mock draft, they have Caleb Downs going 10th overall to the Cincinnati Bengals.
So like, it's a case by case basis. I think certainly in other draft classes, CJ Allen could have helped himself big time with a combine performance, because it gets people talking. Like, everyone's going to be paying attention. There are laser times, and maybe that helps him in a way in terms of you have a verified number on what he runs versus a couple scouts in Athens with hand times. And the one thing people have said about Indy is that turf is a lot faster than maybe the one here in Athens and at other college pro days. So that will be interesting to see. There will be certainly a lot of hand watches out there when he runs his in Athens. But my take on the whole CJ Allen thing, guys, and we talked about it pre-show, I don't blame him, because there's no chance in hell. And CJ Allen, like you said, is a gamer. That guy's tape is amazing. I'm assuming he's going to be a first-round draft pick, because there seems to be several positions, several places in this draft that need that. And I think he's a traditional Mike linebacker. But on the other hand, when you're in the same group as Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese, 2 athletic freaks who I haven't watched much of them on tape, so I really can't speak to what they look like on tape compared to CJ. Judging by their draft grade, I'm sure it's very, very good. But then you go look at them athletically. I don't want to be compared to those guys on the same field in everything I do, especially not if I'm CJ Allen, because those 3 guys are different. They're not the same players. They're not the same archetypes in my mind. I don't blame him on that account. So
just to say that they have Arvell Reese going 3rd overall, and they have Sonny Styles going 5th overall. But they also have the edge rusher from Texas Tech, David Bailey, going 2nd overall. So I mean, but same thing. Yes, they're different players. So, but CJ Allen is a traditional Mike, so that does help him a lot.
Everything he would do on that field gets compared to those 2 guys, because those are the 2 top guys at those positions. Now, Arvell Reese, there's a conversation to be had where that guy plays at the next level. Is he an edge? Is he an inside backer? I don't know. Not the person to ask. But in terms of the guys that did work out, guys, we'll start there. We'll start with Freebird, Monroe Freeling. Woo!
That's some crazy stuff.
Reboot, rewind. Let's go back to last week. We had friend of the show, legend of the show, Bill Shanks on, and he was asking about the combine. And I want to take a victory lap here, and I don't know if y'all remember. He asked me who I thought was going to impress. First name out of my mouth, Dalen Everett.
Yeah, he impressed.
There. First on-field workout that was televised, not including Brett Thorson. That man made himself some money. I put it out on Twitter the other day. Go ahead and start printing the money. Dalen Everett ran a much faster time than a lot of people were expecting, but I'm not surprised, because there's obviously a difference between running straight line and having to run after being out of a back pedal. There's a major difference. Try doing it at home. I promise you're not going to run as fast.
I'd fall down.
That guy is obviously a freak athlete. That guy has some speed, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, where he gives up the slants. And I get that, but there's also more to that conversation than just the fact that he's getting beat on a slant. When you play at a certain depth and you're taught a certain way within a coverage system, maybe that's, not always the player's fault. Maybe that's just scheme at this point. It's something you're playing deep to short. I'm really excited to see what this guy does on an NFL field in a scheme that maybe allows him to show off his abilities impressed man. That was something he talked about with the media. Let me pull up his time exactly.
He ran a 4.3840. That was his exact time.
4.38.
Was that the fastest of all the Georgia players?
No,
fastest.
Second fastest.
Second fastest. Okay.
Zachariah
Zach beat him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Your guy, Yakarai Branch.
Do it.
Gentlemen, thoughts on Dalen Everett? Because I don't know if this pushes him into first round conversation, because the NFL Network grade on him still has him as an average backup, which kind of shocked me. I thought maybe he'd be graded a little bit higher, but I certainly think he helped his draft stock.
Okay, so from NFL.com, his production score at the combine was a 65. That ranked 24th overall in the whole class. But his athleticism score ranked 3rd overall. He had an 84 with that. And so his total score was a 75, ranked 12th overall. So I don't know that it pushes him into the first, but he may be a second round pick. And if he's going to be a second round pick, that's big. And but yeah, 4.3840. He had a 1.54 10-yard split, and he had a vertical of 37.5 inches. I mean, that's strong. And again, like it could be that a technique that we do not teach the way they would teach it in the NFL, whatever, and he could go and be that guy in the NFL. I mean, he's got the skill set. So I think he could be a second round pick for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you, Andy. I agree, and I'm sorry I have to keep hitting mute. I've had a bad cough, so I'm trying not to cough you guys out of the room. But I think Dalen is a second round pick, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if we'd come in before the combine, Harrison would have been a 3rd round or a 4th round pick. Do you think? I mean, he's probably moved into the 2nd round with what he's done, I think. But I kind of poo-pooed the combine, and I did.
Terry Clark. That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to talk about that later. I'm glad you brought that up.
That's about the spot he could be going. So.
Yeah, but I don't know that the Falcons.
I think that's a little too high.
Anyway,
it may be, but still, that's in that round. So that range.
And for what the Falcons need, I don't think Dalen ever fits what they need. And we'll get into that later. But my favorite part of the combine, and by no means do I sit down and watch the combine because it's absolutely boring. I watch a little bit here and there, but the interviews are my favorite part. And the best part to me is seeing the Georgia program, especially Kirby Smart, on center stage, talking to all these Georgia players. They just tout how the program prepared. And I think the NFL has finally figured this out. Hey, these Georgia guys are ready for the NFL when they step on this field at the combine. They're ready to go. And I just love the effusive praise that they give to the Georgia program. And secondly, these guys are aliens. They are absolute aliens. You were talking about Micah Morris before the show. And I don't know if it was you, Harrison, that asked him about the Platinum Club, but he was talking about what that is basically, is taking 2 160-pound dumbbells and lifting them, I think, on a flat bench. I don't know if it was incline or it doesn't matter, and lifting them several times. Okay. That's the Platinum Club. Right. Of course. 2 160. And he was bored one day and he just got 2 180-pound barbells and lifted those simultaneously. I just want each of you to go to the gym sometime, or anybody listening, and just pick up one 100-pound dumbbell. Just pick it up. I mean, it's ridiculous what these guys are doing at 19 to 22 years old. It's absurd.
Well, it's an incline dumbbell pressing 160-pound dumbbells for 8 reps.
It's 8 reps. I didn't know it was that many reps. Holy crap!
He later,
like I said,
that's 180 pounds. That's more than I weigh. But that's good God. Yeah, he's lifting more weight.
Seeing Micah Morris and hearing Micah Morris do it is one thing, but hearing Oscar Delp do it at 240 pounds is completely a different other thing. That made my jaw drop when I figured that out, when I found that out. Would never have guessed it. Yeah, and it was something that Dalen Everett revealed in his interview with Roddy one-on-one this past week, that, Oscar Delp and Micah Morris are 2 of the 3 guys in the Platinum Club. Yeah. 2 of 3. I don't know who the 3rd one is. I don't know if we ever figured out who it was. But I wish we got to see that guy work out. Sucks to hear about the hairline fracture. He was told was told he was not going to be able to compete in Indianapolis, but he did. I think he's already been saying he will compete in a couple of weeks here at Pro Day here in Athens. We will be looking forward to see what he can do on the field. Boys, Speaking
Can
of
I throw out
aliens,
a
Eddie.
take real quick before you switch?
Yeah.
I want to throw out a hot take for you guys. Hot take. I think over the long haul of the career, Micah Morris is going to be better than Monroe Freeling.
Ooh.
That's my take. I think Micah Morris is set up to be a monster in the NFL.
I like Michael Morris. I like Michael a lot. But I think Monroe Freeling is going to be a 10 to 15-year player.
I think Monroe Freeling is going to be a 10-year left tackle. Those guys don't come around a lot. No. But we'll see. But yeah,
I mean, if you're right, God, I hope we're still doing the show. Well, actually, never mind. I take that back. I don't want Ed to be right. So yeah, I hope
I'll be dead. I'll be dead. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he'll be 104 in 10 years. So.
Yeah. Here we go. I'd love to see the Falcons take Morris, and I agree he will be better than Freeling. Corey B. Carter. Is that a John Green?
Corey. I like it, Corey. Yes.
But now,
John Green Jr.
By him saying that, though, but that could be a guy on the radar. I know we're going to get there, but Falcons, that's a guy. So
bingo.
Real quick, let's talk about the rest of them real quick. We'll hit Monroe Freeling, obviously, because everybody is talking about that guy. He's the first player in NFL history at 6'7" and 315 pounds to have a vertical jump higher than 30 feet, or 30
inches.
Jesus. 30 inches.
If he jumped 30 feet, you're talking about alien. Yeah. That is alien.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
I'm sorry. All right.
Sorry, you got excited.
This is another Brian Kelly moment.
He's been
a broad jump, a 9 broad jump, and a sub 540.
That's ridiculous.
He ran a 4.9 340, and that dude is 315 pounds. So NFL.com score for him, his production score was a 72, which ranked him 7th overall at the combine. His athleticism score was 90, which ranked him 3rd, and his total score was 81, and it ranked him 5th overall. So, but yeah, that's.
I never have either. I never hope I do.
Nor have I.
But yeah, that's some elite numbers there. Yeah, that's some elite numbers he's throwing out there.
Another one. And we put this out on Twitter as well. I think everyone's been talking about it. This guy was getting first-round projections pretty much from the day he announced. Started to creep up, started to get louder going into the combine, and now it's just to the moon. Monroe Freeling probably going to be a top 10, top 15 draft pick after his performance at the combine. It's only taken him like 16 starts to do so. Really happy for him. He was a fun interview. Go check that out over here in the UGA Sports YouTube channel. Said he won't miss Kirby in those mic moments. Also gave a perspective on what one of those mic moments was that I guess probably still gives him nightmares. Zachariah Branch, 4.35 40 time. Probably just in the ballpark of where we thought he would. Not a surprise that guy ran as fast as he did. I tried to see if maybe there's a little bit of competition in the room between him, Bell, and Young. But I asked Bell who's going to run the fastest, and Bell said immediately Branch. So there was no they knew where they stood in that line. Speaking of those guys, really, really good times for Colby Young and Dylan Bell. Gentlemen, The one thing about Dylan Bell, that guy on end around, reverses, jet sweeps, could break it big, could get a 30, 40-yard gain. Anytime Georgia needed momentum, Dylan Bell in the end around was there. He just didn't have the home run speed. And it felt like it took him a little bit to get to top speed, but he couldn't sustain it. He ran a 4.5 flat. If you would have told me that before the weekend, I would have been surprised, and I was surprised. That's a really good time for him because I was the one thing I was questioning. I thought maybe he'd be, mid 4.5s.
Yeah.
Hopefully if you get in the 4.6s, not very good for a guy with his measurables. But 4.5 flat, really, really good time for Dylan Bell. And I think it only promotes more conversation about where does he play at the next level.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at his grade, and he had a production score was a 55. His athleticism score was an 80, and his total score was a 70, which ranked 33rd overall. But yeah, he had a 4.5 40. He had a 1.58, a 10-yard split, and he had a 39-inch vertical. I mean, that's pretty strong. That's he could be an NFL guy. He may not be a number one, but yeah, he could definitely be in the league for a while.
Well, I like to go back to one of my favorite Falcons of all time, Brian Finneran. Yeah. What do you think his 40 time was?
4.6.
Does he? Yeah, exactly. Brian Finneran was an awesome receiver for the Falcons. There is a market for that. Now, I'm not saying Dylan Bell is Brian Finneran by any means. I'm not saying that. He's probably a lot faster, twitchier, and all that kind of stuff. But there is a market for players like that, a possession receiver, a guy who can catch a quick slant over the middle for a touchdown, which he did numerous times for us, right over the middle, and just snag that ball. I mean, I think he's going to be a really good pro, settling down in zones and finding that open field. He's really good at that.
Yeah.
My one question with Bell is obviously, how do NFL teams see him? Where do they use him? I assume he's probably still going to be kind of a gadget type player. I think he's probably a day 3 guy. I think this is a 5th, maybe 6th round receiver that gets taken off the board. And it's all going to depend on where he lands and how creative that offensive coordinator is in terms of what success he can have at the league. But I do agree with his ability to play special teams, and that was something he really promoted. I asked him in our one-on-one, what's the one thing that you'll take away from Coach Smart? One quote, one line, one thought, and he said special teams. That was his one thing he's forever going to take away is, if you can play special teams, you can make it to the NFL. And he's put a really big value on that. And he said it himself. He's a team player. And he showed that throughout his career. Showed that when he decided to help recruit Zachariah Branch to his school because he wanted the team to win, wanted the team to do better, and he could play special teams. Really excited.
Well,
to
who
see
was
what
the
Dylan
player
Bell
from
does.
Georgia, Harrison, that said a few years ago, he was asked in an interview, do you think it hurt your status that you weren't a starter? And he said, I was a starter. I started on special teams. Was that Trayvon? So one of the Georgia players said that in an interview. You remember that?
Could have been Trayvon.
Which I don't. It wouldn't shock me if it was Trayvon.
Yeah, I think it was because he wasn't a starter at times, right? But he said, I'm a starter. I started on special teams. And I just love that. They really value that at Georgia. And I think the players that buy into that, it only helps their draft stock.
What do you guys think? Colby Young or Dylan Bell going off the board first?
Eddie, I guess I'll go first here because you hear about these guys over measuring, like being listed taller than they actually are in college. How often do you hear someone smaller listed as smaller than they are in college?
That doesn't happen often. Yeah,
never.
And Colby Young managed to be 2 inches taller than what Georgia listed him as. Georgia listed him at 6'3", I think 215 pounds. He's 6'5", 218. He ran a 4.49.
Yeah, that's some crazy numbers.
To me, I think he goes off the board first just because he ran such a damn good time that I think someone's going to take a shot on him. And I don't know how much value he brings to special teams, which I think hurts him a little bit, which could maybe bump Bell over him. But if you would have told me that he was running sub 4.5, I would have told you that's freak stuff. And he's probably a little bit earlier on day 3 than Dylan Bell because that's a really good time for that guy. Because
I would say he's like a 4th round pick or something.
I would have never guessed that he was running sub 4.5.
Yeah,
at his measurables.
Well, I agree with you, Harrison, and the reason is because I go back to another one of my favorite players at Georgia, Marcus Rosemy-Jack-Saint. Watch what that guy did without the football in his hands. He was always making a downfield block, trucking people, and that's exactly what Colby Young does a lot. Look around, he's making a block, and when he has the ball in his hands, he's really hard to bring down. He's a man.
He's a big dude.
I agree with you. I just think his measurables, you can look at him and say, that guy looks like an NFL player, right? I mean, he just does. So I agree with you. I think he goes off before Dylan Bell.
Corey, that is obviously a valuable point in terms of the outfield.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I will say it does seem like Colby made it a good point. The last thing he said, I think, before he walked off that he wanted people to remember is that he's a good person. And he worked really hard this year in terms of offseason camp to play and play at a high level. He really took it seriously. And I think he's even talked about it publicly on how he learned not to take things for granted. So they're going to do obviously their due diligence on all that. But I don't think, hopefully you hope it doesn't hurt him. But it obviously could. In terms of Miller, Freeling, and Allen could go all in the first round. Are we buying stock in that, or are we selling stock, or are we holding? It's hard to sell at this point.
I would say.
Well, actually, I take that back.
I'd sell that.
I'm actually going to sell
Me too.
because
Yeah.
I'd buy a premium on Freeling and Allen.
Yes.
I just don't know if Kristen Miller's going to be a first-round guy.
I don't think so. Yeah,
I
would
could
say
add
that-
in. I could add in Zachariah Branch. Possibly
if you put Branch, that's the thing. Branch is a
take
guy.
out Miller and add
even that to
Branch in
me-
there. It's a reach. I
it's
agree,
risky.
but it's a possibility.
Yeah. See, so with Kristen's a really good player, and I think Kristen's gonna have a productive career. And Jed May said this over the weekend when I was talking to him about it, and I was like, man, that is just a perfect way to sum him up. He is a 3-tech, or he is a 0-tech in a 3-tech body. He plays like a 0, but he has a 3-tech body.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen we haven't seen him much as a pass rusher. He's really good versus the run, and that pays dividends in the NFL. And I think he's going to have a good career, and he'll be a day 2 guy. I'm really confident in that.
Yeah.
We just don't know what he can do as a pass rusher on the interior, which I think prevents him from going day 1. Now, granted, he seems really confident that he can rush the passer, and he made it kind of seem like that's just a system thing that was asked to do it, which may be the case. Probably is the case. I just don't know if he'll go day 1, which is why I would sell.
Yeah, I would too. I could see Georgia getting 3, but I don't think Miller is going to be one of the guys. I would say if anybody goes, it would be Branch. So.
Yeah, Scott Anderson. I can see Branch sneaking in there, but at 5'8", 5'9", whatever he slotted in as,
issue.
I'm a little skeptical. If he was like 6 foot and ran what he ran, yeah, I could definitely, I would probably buy that in a heartbeat.
Dude, I'll say this though. I have the you have these draft grades up, or the combine grades, and it's showing Colby Young run his 40. That dude is freaking moving. I mean, that is a big man.
19 miles an hour on the gauntlet.
That's
It was
crazy.
the fastest time.
Yeah.
One of the fastest times on the receivers in that gauntlet, in terms of miles per hour. Let's switch over, or actually real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. Let's make this brief because we're already 27 minutes in. Did any player, Georgia or non-Georgia specifically, catch you off guard? Or have we already discussed the player that caught you off guard?
We probably have. But what about you? Did you see anyone either from another school? Did you
that
see
was kind of for
like,
you, Harrison?
Crap. Yeah.
Doesn't have to be Georgia.
I mean, the one that really caught me off guard out of all of them was Colby Young, but Sonny Styles' brother running I think it was a 4.27, and I forget. I feel bad that I forgot his name because he absolutely balled out this weekend. That was impressive, and we'll give these guys a shout too. I don't know if y'all watched the Oregon safety, and I'm blanking. Okay, Lorenzo Styles Jr. ran a 4.27. If you watch the safeties, you had Robert Spears Jennings, who, guys, when I interviewed him for talking about his teammate Gentry Williams, who he raved about, he didn't look like a DB to me. Although when I looked at his measurables, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. He ran a 4.32, and then Dylan Thieneman, who is a safety at Oregon, ran a 4.35, and I think his first attempt wasn't all that impressive, and then he ran a 4.35, and I was like, damn, all right. Really good day for the safeties. You had 4 safeties run sub 3.4 or sub 4.4. Really good day for those guys. But those were, I guess, some of the highlights to me outside of Georgia on that. Really good shout here. That Mississippi State Brennan Thompson, 4.26 from Brennan Thompson, which is the same guy that Kirby Smart said in the lead up to that game that he's one of the fastest players, if not the fastest player he's seen on tape. So that checks out.
That's absurd.
And still not the record. I think what?
But again, Harrison, what just struck me about what we just asked you was who jumped off the page, and you went right to the 40-yard dash and said, well, this guy, right? So, I mean, it's just kind of, what are we doing? Are we running track here? Are we playing football, right? I mean, I know speed is part of the game, but it's first, you know.
I mean, you said at the top of the show, it's the underwear Olympics. There's only so much you can show.
Right.
So 40s are overrated. Give me the shuttle. It's funny, Corey, because you don't see as many people doing the shuttles anymore, unfortunately. It's just, just not in there. All right. I think that settles it for the combine. We're getting some good
stuff,
comments.
Harrison. That's awesome.
A lot of good stuff, a lot of content. already out, ujsports.com over here on the YouTube channel. Obviously, stick around here for the next half an hour to more, depending on how long it takes us to get through. We got basketball and Georgia baseball coming up. And then afterwards, we talk Falcons and the Braves. We have a loaded show, a lot to get to. With that being said, boys, Eddie, your Hoop Dogs went 1-1 this weekend.
Well, they're y'all's too, not just mine. There are Hoop Dogs.
You are our Hoop Dog expert on this show.
No, I'm not. Hardly.
Thoughts from the week. You lose one to Vandy. You lose a close one to Vandy. You bounce back and you get a decisive win versus USC Junior, as written in the notes. Which shout out to whoever put that in there. It's nice.
Don't be Andy. Andy loves to do that. Andy loves to do that
because that's what they are. I mean, come on.
I know. Well, I mean, they're 20-9 at this point, right? 2 games left. You got one against Alabama at home, and then you got, I guess, Mississippi State on the road. Is that right, Andy?
Yeah,
something
Mississippi
like that.
State at Starkville. Yeah, that will be on.
So I mean, let's be realistic. You probably split those two. Alabama's really good. That's going to be a tough one to win. You win it, great. That puts you at 22-9. But I think 21-10. I think they're in already, right? Everybody talking. Joe Lunardi says they're in. Auburn, by the way, bye-bye. You're not in. I thought Auburn was a basketball school. They're out, so Auburn sucks. But we're in. But I have something to discuss for a discussion for you guys. So Georgia's win today or yesterday put them at 20-9, and that's 20 wins for the 16th time in program history, a 21 season, okay? Counting the postseason, whatever. So I went back and did some research. I mean, that sounds fine, whatever. So I looked at a couple of blue bloods and then a couple that are kind of paired with us. So how many times do you think North Carolina, the Tar Heels, have had a 20-win season? Just a guess.
In entire history?
Yeah. And how many did you say Georgia had? What was that?
Georgia has 16.
Okay. North Carolina has.
I'm going to go
45. Oh, whoa. Don't say my number.
Whoa.
Okay,
right,
45.
I'm gonna uptick 47.
Y'all aren't even close. 66 times.
I was going to say 55, but I cut 10 off because I was like, I don't know. It seems kind of high. Okay.
All right. The other blue blood I did was Duke. So that kind of gives you an idea.
72. 72.
Nah, it's not that high. Don't get crazy. A little bit lower. It's fine. 58. They had 58. Okay. So I went back and looked at Alabama and South Carolina. Alabama, kind of. I mean, they're not a blue blood by any means, right? How many times 32. Do you think they've won 20 games?
13.
Pretty close.
Okay.
No. 47, guys. Alabama has 47. All right, here's the other one. South Carolina.
24.
That's really close, Andy. Harrison?
27.
All right, y'all are right there. 25. Okay, now
Hell yeah.
The point of that, okay, great. We have 3 20-win seasons in a row. Awesome. Great. Glad. But how putrid has this program been overall? I mean, look, that's ridiculous.
I'm
not comparing us to Duke or North Carolina. That's why I wanted to look at those two schools. 47 times for Bama. Are you kidding me? I mean, we've just been in the doldrums with this program. Now, we're going to go to the tourney. If we beat Bama on Tuesday night, that's and I think we can compete with Bama, but they're a really good team. We got them at home. So I'm happy where they are, but I'll keep saying it. You got to show me something when we get to the tourney. You got to win it.
Okay, well let me ask y'all this then. All right, so that's 3.
Harrison's having fun with his soundboard there.
3 straight 20-win seasons. That's pretty impressive for where we were at. So we got to give, sometimes
for where we were. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm a little tough on Mike White, but that's a pretty, that's
a little.
Oh, hey, whatever. But that is impressive. I mean, so you got to give him the credit where it's due. So he has gotten here and he has sort of stabilized it. And hey, I mean, 20 wins 3 years in a row. Let's go win a game. I saw one of the projections were the 9th overall seed. And, if you win the first round, that's a pretty strong year. I would say for me, that's acceptable to me. Is if you win a game in the tournament, I think that's a good year for the Dogs. Harrison, is that a good year for you?
Yeah, I think we're with the memorandum of understanding, to use a bigger word, Roddy was talking to me about thesaurus.
Okay.
Jesus, Louise.
Yeah,
Y'all
you
get
can't even
the
say
point.
the word.
Yeah, it's such a big word.
Thesaurus.
With where the program was at when Mike White took over, there was an understanding what the expectation was. You want to get back to being a team that was competing for a spot in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
And he's delivered on that 2 of the last 3 years. You
Sure.
made it to the NIT the year before, and you went pretty far into that. Granted, that was the supposed springboard into making the tournament the next year. Now, for the second year in a row, he looks like he's into the tournament, and you have a 20-win season, which, as Eddie has proved, hasn't happened very often at this program. So it's improvement, and I want to make sure that is clear on this show. For everybody watching, we acknowledge it is improvement, but
Sure.
to the point of many others who have been vocal on this show, on other shows, on social media, there's always a desire for more. And I want to make
Sure.
it clear, when critiques and all that is stated, it's not poo-pooing on the current program. It is out there because obviously y'all's job as fans is you want to see them win. You
Yeah.
support the
Yeah.
team.
Look, Kirby Smart won back-to-back national championships in 2021 and 2022, and we've not got there in 3 years. Do you not? I mean,
And I'll be the first to say a couple times during those years after, I was pissed off at Kirby Smart for some things that he said, did, called on the field. I didn't like it. Okay. And we called it out. Did we not, Andy?
Yeah. And with that being said,
that is not sitting here saying, get rid of Kirby Smart.
God, no. I mean, Kirby Smart's my hero.
He has brought the level to way up here, and that's where we expect it to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But no, I think it's an impressive.
One more thing on the program before we move on from the basketball program. So this is pretty incredible. Think about this, guys. Every one of these players, I'm talking about like the top 9 players, could conceivably be back next year. Okay. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I think you're going to have a transfer here or there that kind of catches you off guard. That's just the way it is. But this team could come back intact next year. Now, if that happens, we may have something really special next year. Now, I'm not saying this season's over, right? I mean, we got things to do this year, but another year, like a Blue Cane, another year in this program, Somto, if he doesn't go to the NBA, another year in this program, we could be really good next year.
I really want on the to-do list, because you look at the core on this roster: Kareem Stagg, Jeremiah Wilkinson, Blue Cane, Somto Surreal. Like Eddie just pointed out, you have players who have eligibility who can come back next year and build on whatever this year turns out to be. That needs to be at the top of the to-do list in the offseason. You need to retain that talent, whatever it takes, because I'm sure there's going to be other programs that come calling. There's going to be, obviously, aspirations to go to the NFL. Whatever you need to do, you keep your core together, and then you add to it, because that's the one thing so far that we haven't seen yet is you don't have as much continuity year to year. This year, you kind of turned over the roster and you added some talent. Now, granted, it's paid off. Like, you've improved. If you go look at where Georgia was coming into this week, this year versus last year, they were 7-10 in SEC play at this point last year.
They've already surpassed that.
They've surpassed it. So it's improvement. Really strong stuff, really strong week for Georgia basketball. And I know any other year you're upset about losing to Vandy, but Vanderbilt's a really good team this year. They're a top 20 ranked team.
Force for us. That raised floor literally gives me nightmares.
Yeah, it's weird.
I hate that place. And Georgia always seems to struggle. I do want to point out one player. He only had 6 points yesterday. The little old Jake Wilkins looked like his dad. Oh no, he had 3. It was 3 highlight film.
That's steel dunk.
Yeah, and the dunk you're talking about was when Blue Cane got it on the wing and he flipped it to Jake, and Jake looked like Michael Jordan from the free throw line, and his elbow, guys, was above the rim.
Yeah, it was.
That kid is ridiculous when it comes to hops like that. It was off. And by the way, the roof just blew off the place when that happened. He looked like the human highlight factory. It was awesome. And he's just, like I said, he's just scratching the surface.
Paul's house.
Yeah, Paul, you suck. I hope your trip sucks. He's going on a cruise. But let me ask you guys this. So the SEC.
Oh, he's on a plane.
Yeah, he's on a plane. He's headed to a cruise.
I thought he was saying he was high watching our show. I was like, that's an interesting way.
He probably
to entertain.
is. He probably is.
I mean, yeah, that's probably
all
right.
that mold he inhales. He's probably high 24/7.
But remember, he can't really drink because he passes out when he has too much alcohol in this weather. So yeah, Paul, stay hydrated, please.
The SEC tournament starts on Wednesday, March the 11th. What do you want them to win one and done? Do you want them to try to win the whole thing? Do you want them to get beat the first game? Does it matter at this point, I guess? Or are they already locked into the tournament and basically the SEC tournament isn't going to do anything?
I mean, look, winning the SEC tournament, I don't care, what it, like, sure, if you have the chance to do it, but don't mortgage your future to win the SEC tournament is my take. Eddie, what are you going to say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I kind of disagree with you. They're not going to win the tournament. I mean, that's just crazy talk, right? That's just not going to happen. There's too many really, really good teams, and it's tough to do. But I would like to see them not bow out early. Again, kind of goes back to my NCAA thing. Make a little run. Get to Saturday. How cool would that be for all of us? Maybe get to the semifinals. And then, that may help also your seeding in the tournament because they look at that. It's not just the overall season. They look at how you end up in that tournament too, because the SEC is a tough tournament. So
they're projected 9 now, though. How much higher could they get? Like, could they? I mean, how high?
You make a run to Saturday, maybe even Sunday. You might get to 8 or 7, Andy. I think they're going to take a look at that
right now in the tournament.
Well, again, this is just one I'm looking at. This is off of Fox Sports. They currently have Georgia in the East region projected 9th overall, and they would be playing Miami of Ohio. So, and Miami of Ohio is
good. I watched them play this weekend. That team is really good. And by the way, I haven't lost. They're really good.
Oh, never mind. I don't like that matchup.
No, that's not.
Can we go back to St. Louis?
Hey,
can we see them match up with St. Louis again?
Could them beating Bama? And let's just say they beat Mississippi State. Could that change it, Andy? Could that change the seeding?
I think so because they currently have Bama in the Midwest region ranked 4th overall. So if they were to knock Bama off, then I don't know if it would change the region. I don't know enough about it, but
so that game just became important. Yeah.
So who knows? And Corey B. Carter, I agree. So good comment. But yes, I don't know. I would love to see them. If they were to beat Bama and maybe win a game or 2 in the SEC tournament, who knows?
Yeah.
So,
Alex Page, the PSPH legend, who's only called into one of our call-in shows, unfortunately. They have to win at least one to solidify their tournament spot.
Well, they're going to. They're going to split.
I think you beat Mississippi State, so and then you're in. But I think they're already.
And I would even argue they're in, even if they lose the next 2. They're in.
It certainly feels that way.
Yeah.
Baseball.
What about them them Diamond Dogs?
Baseball goes 4-1 this week. You sweep Oakland in a 4-game series, and good Lord, boys, Mercy ruled them.
Yes.
3 straight games. First 3 games.
That was insane.
You beat them by 10 runs, and you put up 16 runs in game 1, 17 in game 2, and 11 in game 3. Low scoring affair today was 4-3.
Yeah.
Georgia got out hit by Oakland, but Oakland, I think, had 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Just couldn't finish the drill to get that extra run across the board. It's been so fun watching Trey Phelps at third base. And it's been fun watching Trey Phelps in every margin of the game because he threw a guy out from third at first today, and you could just a rather normal play. It was a cool play to watch because you can see just how much he put on that baseball to get it over there. Been smacking the ball 26 consecutive games with a base hit. In the last 2 games, he's done it with a home run to extend his base hit.
That wasn't just a home run today. That was a missile. I mean, he jacked that ball. That was awesome.
And it's like Georgia got off to a slow start. Your first 4 batters go down, retired without a whimper, or 1 of your first 4, or 3 of your first 4 go down. Then Cole Johnson gets a base hit, and boom, Trey Phelps, 2-run homer. Boom. Daniel Jackson just nuking the ball.
He has 9
but he's not just nuking
already.
the ball. Guys, I don't know if y'all saw it. This guy had an inside the park home run the other day.
Yeah, I mean, because he's fast as hell.
He's
Little
batting
league,
Hey,
three.
Harrison, Harrison, let me ask you a question. You mentioned Trey Phelps' hit streak, which goes to last year, right? So we're talking about. So I have no idea what the hit streak record in college baseball is. Andy, you can look it up while I'm talking. But let's say he breaks some record. Would that count with the being last year into this year, or does it start over when the year starts? Do you know that?
I don't. I don't even
Okay.
know what they would count it in terms of program record, in terms of whether that would count. I mean, I'm sure longest active hitting streak is something they track with a base hit. I know Georgia definitely obviously has that stat because they're the ones kind of putting it out there.
But
that's a
that's
great question,
current
Ed.
season, right? That's current
Yeah,
season, right?
I'm sure. Yeah. Well, Georgia's
Yeah.
tracking obviously back to last year, but for this
Right,
team,
right,
um,
right.
and I believe it was it Cole Johnson or no, it was Henry Allen. Henry Allen's up to 10 games with consecutive base hits, which obviously is all of this season. But he's been so fun to watch. And obviously he came in with a lot of hype, had a really big freshman season. And not that he had a bad sophomore season. He just maybe didn't stay on that, consistent trajectory that maybe some were suspecting. And obviously injury had a role to play in that. But since they moved him to third base and he's completely able to focus on the offensive side of the game at that point, not having to worry about playing multiple positions, Georgia's offense is benefiting from that. And then you look at Daniel Jackson and the power he's brought. It's a fun let's
just gloss over Colby Branch at the bottom of that lineup. That kid's an animal too. I mean,
and not to mention what he does in the field.
Yeah, exactly right. No doubt.
The pitch, and that's the one thing that I'm really curious about. And with Kenny's injury, you're starting to see some of the depth in the rotation.
Yes.
Which is important. You have to have multiple guys you can count on to have really good outings. Matt Scott looked really good last start. I'm trying to think. Dylan looked obviously pretty good today. Who was the Saturday starters? Caden Aoki looked really good yesterday. I think Georgia had 2 shutouts yesterday. Obviously had 2 shutouts yesterday. And Oakland made some adjustments, found some success with 15 hits, I believe it was. Really good start for this season. 38 home runs.
By the way, I will be at the game Tuesday with my family with my feet on the dugout in front of the Georgia dugout. So I can't wait.
We're going to the flush your money all over all of us.
Thanks for that.
I mean, hey, well, you can come. You got to pay for the tickets, Andy. No, I got some tickets from myself, my wife, and 2 of our boys. So we're going to go to the game and be right there. I thought it was a great opportunity since it's 20 minutes from the house.
Okay, it's Marvin. Yeah. So Robin Ventura hit. He has the consecutive 58 games. So his
58 game in MLB, you can carry it over.
In college, it does too. So Robin Ventura went from 86 to 87. So the rule is the player records a hit in the final game of one season, and then he records a hit in the first game of the next season. So so as long as he does that, so it carries it over. So he 58.
So where's he at? What I know, but where's he at
26.
now? 26. So
yeah. So this says that there has not been a player that has come within 10 games since Robin Ventura did the 58. But he broke the record was 47. He broke it, but 58 games, 58 straight games. That's some crazy stuff.
Just think for a second, an MLB player hit 56 straight games in a row. Just think about that for a second. That's inhuman.
Your batting average would be like 6,000.
I mean, just think about this.
That may be one of those records that's never
sit in first class.
Who? Oh,
I wouldn't expect anything different. I fly low class when I fly, but whatever.
By the way, there's no difference between Wi-Fi in first class versus second class. That's ridiculous. Paul's not in first class. I know he's not. Cheap bastard. No way.
It just posted twice. Yeah, he's supposed to be.
Twice.
He got on the plane and took a right, just like every other schlub does. He did not take a left. No way in hell.
Maybe he did. Maybe he's flying.
I don't know. I'm not going to doubt a man. A man's word is.
I'm calling BS on that.
I don't know. I bet his wife made him do it, so I could see that. So
I don't know. Maybe the wife bought the first class tickets.
She could have.
Maybe. All right. Skipping forward, Falcons. Kirk Cousins will obviously officially be released soon. I believe sometime here in the next few days.
Yeah.
Questions about Michael Penix in the injuries? Eddie, I know you have a question about the quarterbacks here, so let's go ahead and fit it in here. What's your question, sir? Because you didn't put it in the notes.
So
I don't blame
you. Yeah, I did. So Kirk Cousins, like you said, is not going to be here. Michael Penix is not going to be healthy day one. So there's been a lot of projections thrown around about who the Falcons are going to do. I want to throw two guys out to you that I read today that are realistic options, one of which we talked about already. Joe Flacco. Okay. Now, Joe Flacco's 41 years old. I think he's going to cost like the veteran minimum, like $1.5 million. But here's the other one, guys. Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
Now, if you take him now, he costs you an arm and a leg because it's like a $54 million contract. But apparently Miami's going to cut ties with him and just outright release him in June, which means he could play for the league minimum next year. Okay. Now, Joe Flacco or Tua, which one of you guys, if that was the only two, which of the two would you guys take? Salaries being about equal, $1.5 million, $1.2 million, whatever.
Andy, I have my answer, but I'll let you go first.
Okay,
let's see how close we are.
Okay, well, I'll say this about Tua.
And you're assuming, right? This is a stopgap. It's not.
It's definitely a stopgap.
It's a stopgap, right?
If you're getting Joe Flacco as a stopgap, dude's 42 years old or whatever you just said. He's
right. But you're not getting. That's right. You're not signing Joe to become the starter from now on. Is my point.
But with Tua
gets hurt a lot. Tua gets hurt a lot anyway. I mean, but of course, if you get it from league minimum, it's okay. But I don't know.
With Tua, there is a chance that it's not stopgap.
That's kind of what I think.
But he gets hurt.
If he goes out, he does get
hurt.
And
Michael Penix doesn't get hurt?
But that's my point. Like, you're signing another broke leg dude, just like you are with, I mean, come on.
Well, no. With Michael Penix, you have a mail order pair of knees. With Tua, you have mail order
hips.
I guess, yeah.
Isn't it concussions too? He's
and concussed. He gets concussed, and he had the hip replacement. So
and great point from Corey Carter, which is obviously something we're hitting on here. Concussion away from potential being done.
Yeah, because I think he said two.
But here's the thing: you go look at the trajectory of some of these quarterbacks long term here in the last few years. Go look at some of the guys who've taken a stopgap deal. A guy who's taken a 1 year prove it deal with a team who maybe just needed him for a year because whatever happened to the starting quarterback. Baker Mayfield obviously got traded to the Panthers, got cut by the Panthers, went to the Rams, got paid massively and handsomely by Tampa Bay. Sam Darnold bounced around after the Jets. He's now a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Say what you will. He did well. Took a 1 year prove it deal with the Vikings, got paid handsomely by the Seahawks. Geno Smith bounced around a little bit after being drafted relatively high. He's now starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. Got paid handsomely by both them, and the Seahawks. There is a trend as of late that there's a long game of sorts that can be played with these quarterbacks. It takes a little bit more time for them to reach their peak. Is Tua that? Tua had a pretty good thing going in Miami with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle until he didn't. You don't have a Tyreek. You don't have a Jalen Waddle. So, and your schemes are going to be vastly different than what Mike McDaniels did. But here's the one thing that makes me lean Tua over Penix.
Whoa. Tua over Penix? Tua over Penix?
Tua over Flacco.
Okay.
What's the one commonality those two guys have? Come on, boys. It's not that hard. All right.
Go ahead.
They're left-handed.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't even think about
having two left-handed quarterbacks on your roster as opposed to a left-hander and a right-hander.
I see. I thought you were saying Joe Flacco was left-handed. I was like, no,
yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
Yeah,
sorry.
Like he's clearly right-handed. No, that makes sense.
Why all right. So finish your point. Why would that matter? Or not matter?
I mean, it matters in the sense of the ball coming out of a left hand looks a little different, spins a little different as opposed to the right hand. So your receivers aren't having to learn two different things, two different views. And your offensive coordinator isn't, hey, we're going to be a drop back, roll out right guy. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we have a new quarterback change and we're drop back, roll out left. Because despite what Zach Robinson says, it doesn't matter. It certainly does matter a little bit.
Of course it matters. That's a really interesting point. I didn't even think about that. So that puts me in the Tua camp right there. Does it not?
What if he gets concussed? What, like, you're going to get a guy
That's
What if Michael
problem for
Penix blows his knee out again? I mean,
I know, but my point is,
that's
that's my point. That's my point. You have 2 dead quarterbacks. You want to get a guy that at least you can throw
what
out
are you
there.
going to do? What are you going to do? Sign Geno Smith or sign?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just
Carr. I mean, what are you going to do?
I mean, one name out there is Daniel Jones, but of course he's coming off of a fractured fibula and a torn.
What about Mac Jones? I'm not. I mean, look,
Mac Jones. I don't think they're going to. From what I'm reading, they're not going to let him go.
No, he's going to stay up there. He's got to.
Yeah, he's going to stay.
And with what I mean, look, what he did
I would
with the
like
Niners,
him.
Yeah, what he did with the Niners, considering they had some injury issues, even when he was playing, was impressive. I'm just a little bit wary
he
of
torched our
taking.
ass when we played him. Remember?
Yeah,
he torched.
I'm just a little bit wary of taking a guy who was in the Shanahan system and now bring him over and having the drop in town a little bit around him.
I'm also sick of the Falcons having the old, immovable quarterback playing for us. I mean, Matt Ryan, Marcus Mariota, who else? I mean, you go on down the
Eddie
list.
from Acworth.
Whatever. It's just been. I'm just so tired of it.
Well, get Stet the jet and let it ride.
That's not gonna. By the way, that's not happening because Stet has never taken a snap in the NFL. They're not going to bring him to Atlanta and say, "Hey, go start for us." That's not going to happen. Tua, Joe Flacco have started NFL games and know how to play the game.
I mean, I agree.
We don't know any. I love Stet, but we don't know anything about him in the NFL.
Sure would be fun though.
It would
be fun. It would be a great PR move.
But
I don't
think LA is going to let him go either. I think
it's not going to happen at all. No, it's not. Could you imagine though? Could you imagine the eyes of the Georgia Bulldog fan base that would be watching that game? That if Stet the Jet opened up day one as a starting quarterback?
Can I throw one crazy thing out at y'all? What about Haynes King as a late pick? I mean, I love that guy. I hate Georgia Tech with every fiber of my being. That guy's a baller. Now, his arm is probably not NFL ready, but I just think he's a baller.
I saw he ran some crazy fast 40.
Yeah, Alex Page. Haynes King. I'm out on that.
Yeah. He's not an NFL quarterback.
I know. I'm kind of half kidding. I agree. I don't think he is.
At that point, I'd rather get Stet the Jet and let it ride, dude. So
yeah.
I mean,
and on that note, are there any quarterbacks, non-day one guys that you'd like to see the Falcons take a chance on in this draft?
Jeez, I'd have to go.
God, that's tough.
I hadn't really looked. I don't know.
Like what? All right, I'll just name some names here. Jeez,
you caught me off guard. I did not.
There's barely any quarterbacks that even did anything at the combine in terms of running a 40 time. So that's maybe not a.
That's
maybe not the best chance to look. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. I just want to throw out some names that might be day 2, maybe day 3 guys that y'all could be interested in and see what it does. Jeez, even ESPN doesn't have that many options.
All right. Well, how about this?
What's that lawyerly thing you're supposed to do? Never ask a question you don't already know the answer to. I think Harrison just did that.
I'm sorry, EFA. I'm pulling it up here. All right. First one off the board. Garrett Nussmeier. Yes or no? Take a chance.
I mean, no. Yeah. Depending on how late you get him. Yeah.
Carson Beck.
After that.
God, if we Carson Beck on this, again, that's gonna be
all right. So where is he projected, Harrison? Where is he projected? What round is he?
As of this article, late day 2, early day 3.
Okay, well,
early day 3. Early day 3. Would you take a chance?
Would you take?
Yes,
Carson
I would.
Beck?
I actually would.
Carson Beck or Ty Simpson? Ty Simpson's projected.
I think Ty Simpson's not going to be available.
Yeah, okay. I agree. I think Ty Simpson's going before that. I'd take a flyer on Carson. He's got an NFL arm. You're talking about
he's got a King's
arm.
Yeah, he's got a cannon.
He's got an
but
NFL
with that being
arm.
said, though, Eddie, you're talking about a statue, and not saying that Carson's a statue. He has some mobility.
He's movable enough.
Yeah,
I mean, he can move a little bit. Yeah, I'd do that, Harrison.
Good God.
Yeah,
I don't want Drew Aller. Nah, that guy sucked.
No.
He's terrible.
Next one. Hold on, Andy. Hold on. I got a couple more we're gonna rattle off. Actually, maybe just one more.
Dude, this whole
Klubnik.
Cade Klubnik's got some. He's got some
A no
skills.
for me, dog.
He's got some skills. His offense, his coaching staff sucks at Clemson, but he's got some skills.
All right, last one. I don't know how
Not
much I
saying
know
he's
of this
great.
guy.
I'm just saying
I haven't watched much of him, so it's probably going to automatically be a no. Luke Altmaier from Illinois.
Illinois, he was pretty good there. And he came from didn't he come from Ohio State or something? Or was it Syracuse? He transferred or maybe
From
yeah,
Ole
I think
Miss.
it was Syracuse.
Ole Miss.
Yeah.
But
That's right.
I think he transferred a couple of times, but he was okay. I mean, I'm not, again, you're talking about playing for, not the greatest offense. So I don't know, but I mean, if it's depending on how late you get him. If you get him in the 5th round, sure, why not? But I mean, you're not talking about the 2nd or 3rd round for those guys.
Yeah.
Luke Altmaier's projected late day 3 to late day 3 or undrafted free agent.
I mean,
let's be honest, guys. They're not going to draft. Let's just say they draft Carson Beck. They're not going to throw him out there day 1 as the starter.
And Alex Page posted about Taylon Green, and that's a guy. I mean, he's a dude.
Woodjaw. Taylon Green. He ran a 4.37.
He's got a huge arm. He's a dude. Like, I mean, can you get him in the late 2nd round, 3rd round? I don't know. If we get back over Stetson,
I'm going to need a minute. But Stetson's not going to happen, Corey. I understand what you're saying. But you know what? I heard, Harrison, you were there. Did they boo Carson Beck?
They did boo Carson Beck.
What the hell is that? I mean, what is this? Indiana wins a championship and they're all that. What are you doing booing a kid who's going out there for the NFL Combine? By the way, you beat Carson Beck, so why are you booing him in the first place? I thought it was totally juvenile. What are you doing booing him?
Good point.
And the second part of that is I don't care after they graduate college like a Kyle Pitts. I know he's a Florida guy. I don't care. Once they get in the NFL, now I keep more of an eye on the Georgia guys than I do other people, but I don't care where they played in college. They're in the NFL now. That doesn't matter anymore to me. So Carson Beck, bring him on. I don't care.
It was a good point by the NFL. It was the NFL Network people doing the combine today when they were reviewing the quarterbacks. One of the analysts brought up a good point. What if it was Notre Dame fans? Could have been.
It could have been.
Could have been Notre Dame fans, considering obviously Notre Dame had or at least
because they didn't get in. Exit. Yeah, they should have.
So I won't pin it all on Indiana fans, but Eddie, I agree with your point. Not cool.
Overall, it's stupid.
Yeah. Either way, it's bad. It's a bad look. But all right, last segment. I know we're an hour in. I told y'all pre-show we're gonna go over the hour mark if we need it because I wanted to hit everything. Let's talk the Atlanta Braves. At least in our private chat, there were some friendships that ended over the Atlanta Braves. I shall not mention who, but we're in the process of repairing those men's. It's nobody on this show.
They were
repaired.
So, yeah.
All right. It may or may not have included a guy whose name starts with E and ends in A, but we'll leave it at that.
Throwing our personal business out there. It's just ridiculous.
We had a conversation briefly on Twitter today, EFA. Andy didn't really chip in because he's Switzerland. Just really only weighs in when he has to weigh in.
Well, I was busy.
They had an MLB Network segment talking about what the Braves need to do to win. And obviously, Ronald Acuna is at the top of the list. Got to have him available. Needs to play well.
Yeah.
But they named Austin Riley the X factor of the Atlanta Braves. And I thought it was a great point because since he signed that multi-year extension, he hasn't looked the same at all. So, and I believe it was 680. They were talking about this, and they put it down simple as this: for the Braves to win, they need their stars to be stars.
Yeah, 100%.
And none more so than in your starting, in your lineup in terms of your bats. Everyone that you have locked down on a multi-year deal, you need those guys to start playing up to those numbers because over the last few years, in recent years, Michael Harris obviously has had some downtimes. Austin Riley hasn't looked the same. I know he's not locked down multiple years, but he's kind of fallen off. Ozzie Albies hasn't played up to his contract.
No,
Sean Murphy is the brunt of many.
He's not even going to be there.
Not available. Where are y'all at on this? I mean, what's your confidence level in Austin Riley? We'll start there. Obviously, it's the new hair. has the beard growing. He looks good. He hit a home run today in spring training.
Yeah, he's got
Where are
2
we
so
at?
far. He's got to be the dude they thought he was going to be. You can't go out there. He'll get hot, and he looks like he's just going to kill them, like have the best stats ever. But then when he goes cold, he goes cold. I mean, he'll go a week or two and hit like a $140 and strike out, at least 50% of the time. And so, no, he's got to. You got a guy that you thought was going to be, I know we have Matt Olson, and I know we have Ronald Acuna. Acuna's your guy, and Olson, you know what you're getting out of him. He's going to give you, he's going to be right up there in the top 2 or 3 in first basemen. You've got to have Austin Riley is almost I'm not going to say he's the engine to it, but he's almost the engine because he's right there in the middle of that lineup, and you got to have your guy turning that over. He's got to be a dude. And if he's not, we might be in trouble.
Correct.
Well,
Corey,
Austin Riley,
Ozzy's left out of this discussion because he's not a long-term deal and he's being paid relatively cheap. Continue, Eddie. My bad.
that's okay. Well, Austin Riley, to me, once he signed that deal, became the leader of the Atlanta Braves. And he has not played like a leader of the Atlanta Braves for the past couple of seasons. That's where I expected. I'm not saying he needs to be an MVP, but this is what drives me crazy about Austin Riley. 2024, he had 118 strikeouts. He surpassed that last year with 128 strikeouts. That drives me crazy. Okay. I cannot stand strikeouts over 100. That's awful. Now, if you're Matt Olson, you're striking out at that rate, but he had a hell of a year last year.
Yeah,
overall.
but he's also hitting 280 and 40 home runs.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And Austin Riley should, in my opinion, Austin Riley should be carrying this team, and he's not been doing that. Can he this year? He's started off great in the spring. He's had a great spring. I agree with you, Harrison, but he's the guy. He's the linchpin of this team. He needs to be that Freddie Freeman type leader that we don't have. And I don't know that he has been the past couple of years.
No, he hasn't. His OBP is 309 and 322.
Exactly.
The last, come on,
yeah.
Give me a break. If you're getting paid that money, God, look at all that.
Think, Harrison, you mentioned the contract, and since he signed it, he's not been the same player since. Do you really think it's the contract thing?
No,
I don't. I'm not a major league player. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think I certainly am not saying Austin Riley. He got his money. He signed the bottom line, and he's like, I can just do what I want. I don't think he's that way at all. But do you think maybe after signing that, the pressure amped up for him, and he's pressing too much to make it,
I can see that.
Prove
it's not
I'm worth the money.
It's not that he's not trying. I can definitely see
exactly.
that.
And by no means am I saying that, but do you think the pressure mounted a lot on him, and now he's been pressing for 2 years, and he's got to stop doing that this year?
I think pressure is one thing. The other thing is injuries have been so consistent in that lineup.
He's been hurt a lot too.
Obviously, he's had his injuries, but in terms of the pressure has ramped up not only with the contract, but when you don't have your best player in your lineup every day and you're trying to make up for the void of that, I think you start pressing. And I think he's one of those instances where maybe he's been pressing. I don't have the chase rate numbers or anything like that. I don't even have, and maybe that's something we dig into in terms of exit velos. And I know I'm about to make Eddie from Acworth and Andy puke when I bring up exit velos, but
I wouldn't be surprised. Exit velo? Chipper Jones. Chipper Jones doesn't talk about exit velo, and he's 468 career home runs. So yeah, next question.
Case closed.
Next question. We'll never mention that on the show again.
Thank you. No, I'm with you. Your point is correct. It is like you're saying, is he putting good wood on the ball? And I think he is. But you notice in those stats you had up, his walks dropped completely in half, and his strikeouts. And
that's why I wonder about the chase rate. That's something.
The chase rate. That's the thing. It's that's what it is. Yeah. So no, good point. Very good point.
If he gets back to being all-star Austin Riley in the corners of your infield are your two of your best infield players.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to watch this offense.
Everything else.
If Austin Riley's back to being Austin Riley and Matt Olson's still Matt Olson, those are your two of your best power hitters, consistent power hitters, and then you add in a Ronald Acuna to the mix, and you get just a little bit out of everybody else.
And don't forget about that guy lining up in the catching position. Drake Baldwin's going to be
no kidding.
Freak.
So. Already is.
Question,
he is.
Question on Drake Baldwin. or question on, I guess, this lineup. When everyone's healthy, where are y'all at on who's full-time? Well, obviously, I think right now the plan is Baldwin and Murphy are going to swap in terms of catching
You don't have to ask me that
and
question.
DHing. Is there a world where maybe Murphy's not a everyday player for you because a guy like Yaz is playing at a high rate? We've seen him really shine in spring
Murphy's
training.
not playing that DH role. Is that what you're saying? He's going to play the DH role?
Jerison Profar is going to play that DH role.
Right.
Yeah.
But you just said everyday player.
From
my understanding, it was Murphy and Baldwin will swap between DH and catching on some days.
That was the discussion at one time, and that is why I think they ultimately ended up keeping him. But Murphy ain't that.
I can tell you this: Murphy ain't going to be here the whole year. He's not.
They're going.
That's what I was getting at. That's kind of what I was getting at.
I think it's going to be Baldwin and Chadwick Trump are going to be your catchers.
But just remember, if we did not get freaking Murphy, we would have Wild Bill and we would have Drake Baldwin as our catchers. Just saying. Just that's going to go down as one of the worst trades the Braves have ever made. So cost us a lot. Cost us a lot of players.
Cost you some money a little bit.
Cost you Max Fried. Yeah. It cost you Max Fried.
Well, I think Bill Shanks brought up a good point last week on the Max Fried debacle.
Yeah.
Not knowing about the elbow and where the Braves kind of are betting on the elbow giving out.
Blow out. Yeah.
I understand because I looked up that contract today.
It's a lot of money.
8 years. I'm not giving any pitcher 8 years like that, on a second contract. So another
speaking of pitching, I think J.R. Ritchie is going to make this opening day roster.
Ooh.
I think he's going to be a starting pitcher. I think out of
going to get bailed out on not buying another pitcher.
I think out of necessity, Andy, if he keeps doing what he's doing in the preseason, why not throw the kid out there? Why the hell not?
I don't think he's going to make it out of camp. I don't think so.
Even if he, let's say he has let's say he balls out in camp. He really has a good camp. You don't think he makes it?
I do believe they're wanting to see what they have, because you're talking about Sale and Strider and Lopez and Holmes and Elder, and then Wentz is kind of that next guy. I think they want to see that. If he balls out, though, you never know. But I don't like, as of today, I would say no. Of course, we got 4 weeks to go, but I would say no today. But no, he's getting a lot of hype. But
pitching well.
But and Spencer Strider's so
yeah, that's the thing.
Who pitches more innings for the Braves this year? J.R. Ritchie or Joey Wentz?
Joey Wentz.
Really good question. Yeah, I kind of think Joey Wentz too. I hate to say it, but I think so too.
What would it mean if J.R. Ritchie pitches more innings?
It means J.R. Ritchie was last year's Spencer Schwallenbach, and he was that good, and he said, I'm putting my thing down here and get out of the way. So
it also probably means you blew out 2 more elbows somewhere in that pitching staff.
Put that out in the
well, look, let's be honest. Grant Holmes' elbow is a ticking time bomb. That elbow will – I say Grant Holmes makes 15 or less starts and it blows it out. I just can't imagine it. And this thing with Ronaldo Lopez.
I'm not trying to think some Harrison. That's just the way baseball is. It's not a Braves thing.
I get it.
Like we talked about last week. It's baseball.
It's baseball. So. But it's coming, and it's fun, though. It is fun. I'm ready for the Braves. So.
Speaking of elbows.
And by the way, do y'all watch preseason games?
Yeah,
do y'all watch? You do? You're insane, Andy. I can't do that.
They
did a split squad today. I do too, but you're watching a split squad game.
It was on MLB Network. I was doing stuff, getting ready for the week, and I
look at the stats. I look at the stats. I just can't do it. Sorry.
Whatever. I like the Braves.
By the way, I watch college basketball, and you don't. So there you go. That's
a very good point. Very good point.
Right.
So.
Last thing, and then we'll wrap this baby up. I know we lost Paul, so we can go out however long we want. Thoughts on this? That it's concerning. Now, I was seeing someone was saying something to me that he's talking about he's ramping up.
It is not concerning.
Season.
Yes, no, I am not concerned at all. Not that. Now, last year's it was, and the year before, but no, that 2026 93.1. No, he does not need to be gassing it right now. He needs to work up. You saw Hurston Waldrop throw 99 opening day and blew that freaking elbow out. Yeah. Yes, ramp up. Mad Dog did not go out there and throw as hard as he could. Neither did Smoltzy. Neither did Glavin. Let the guy ramp up. But I'm not concerned about his velo as much as I'm concerned about that control. That's what I'm concerned about with him. Because if his velo, if it is low and it's playing right down the center, he's getting lit up like a Christmas tree. So let him ramp up. Let's see where he's at in his third start of the spring. Let's see if he's hitting 96 then.
But I will say part of Spencer's eliteness when he was at his prime was that fastball tailing. And it was tailing up.
That
and
rising
it's kind of
fastball.
flattened out, does it?
It has.
That's right. That's the not problem. Doing that now.
Yeah.
Yes, that could be a major problem.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for Braves baseball to be back. And that's what kind of like,
oh yeah.
You're seeing the offense play well to start spring training. And I just know if it continues, I just had in the back of my mind, it's like this team's really going to have me excited. This offense is going to have me excited. And then they're going to get swept in the opening series.
Well, really just don't go 0-7 like they did last year. God,
look, some of the Braves' best teams in recent years have lost the opening series. Like it's happened before.
I'm okay with losing the opening series. Yeah, they can lose the opening series. Don't lose 7.
Win a damn game.
Yes.
Win a damn game.
Yeah, but
and
the opening series or two are much more beneficial this year than they were last year was a gauntlet. Now I'm not excusing 0-7 by any means, but that was tough immediately going out west and playing the best of the best. Yeah, we're not doing that this year. So, we got a chance to come out okay.
We're gonna have a competition this year to see who watches the most consecutive innings of Braves baseball to start the season before we snap it.
Well, I ain't gonna be in that. I'll tell you right now.
I can tell you who's gonna win that.
I've made it 27 innings to start the year. And then I have to miss something.
I don't do that. I put it on, watch the first few innings, and I'll get up and do some things. It's on in the background. You can hear it. I just and that's the way baseball is. It's the background of summer. That's fine. I'm just different than that. It's the background of summer.
27 innings, like, I watched 3 games. Look at me. Wow, how impressive is that?
3 full games, buddy. You know how hard that is to do when they're playing on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or a Monday,
every
Tuesday,
pitch.
Wednesday?
You sat there and watched every pitch.
Yes.
I don't. Now I may miss a pitch. Now you may have me on that. I mean, because I will be doing stuff.
Okay, a pitch, but we're saying you watch 9 innings.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I will at the beginning, like the first week, and then I'll kind of
the first week is like the easiest, but after week 1, it gets tough.
No.
Until you reach October, and then you're watching every inning of every game.
Oh yeah, that's different.
Well, we may not get
if the Braves
October.
are in October. Anyways, all right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up. We're 17 minutes over.
Hey, we got to do our Braves predictions. What do we got? 3 weeks left of this stuff.
We got plenty of time. We have plenty.
Yeah, we're not gonna burn those right now, Mr. Ackworth.
No,
I did see a good suggestion.
I wasn't saying that. I was just saying we need to start thinking about that for the shows coming up, right? Predictions.
I'm thinking about it. I know Andy has them going like 0-5 to start the year, just like he did the Falcons.
No, he has them going 162-0 like the Dogs. It's the same thing.
I always pick the Dogs football and the Braves baseball. The Falcons, I always pick them to lose.
162-0, first team ever.
I pick the Hawks to lose every game.
We don't need to do his prediction.
No, I'm good. We already got it.
If he goes 162-0, we're kicking him out of here. All right, let's go wrap it up for this week's edition of the Peach State Power Hour. That's Andy Stowe. That's Eddie from Acworth. I'm Harrison Reno. We will see you back here live Sunday at 7:30. See you next week.
Kid. Yeah. But just a celebration when he does that little, when he's, up in the air, he's just great. He's so fun to watch.